Welcome to Unity of London. We welcome all of our visitors. We welcome our amazing, awesome singer, Paul Luftenegger, whose song you held at the beginning. To me, we laughed after that song. That would have been sufficient inspiration. However, we do have a service, and we welcome all those in person as well as those online. I also invite all of you who brought your cell phones, perhaps wanting to take a picture of Paul when he's singing, and that would be fine, but please turn down the sound. So if you take a moment now just to mute your cell phones, we'd appreciate that. We have a vision at Unity of London. It's shared by Unity spiritual centers all over the world. And that vision is a world that is powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. What a wondrous thought that is. Our mission is to create with spirit, to co-create with spirit, to transform lives through shared spiritual awakening, co-creating with spirit. We don't do it alone. It's our divine spirit within. Here at Unity, we know that we are all one. There are only a few things that separate us. Our egos, we all have those. Our beliefs and our fears can separate us. We know that within this room right now, we all have different egos, perhaps different faiths, different beliefs, and fears. Let them not separate us. To express well starts with self-love, valuing ourselves as divine presence in the world. We have 5 principles at Unity. The first and foremost is that God is everywhere present, 24 hours a day. He's present because we are God expressing. We create a feeling of love and spiritual strength in our world by how we act, by what we live, by who we are. We pray through affirmations and denials. We affirm what is good and right. We release what is not working. And we live the message of love. We live the message of unity. It's not up to us to look at other people and say, fix the world, it's awful. We are the change. We need to be that change. And in a world with so much divergence, so many differences, especially in this month of June, where in Canada, anywhere, we celebrate pride. We celebrate the capacity of all of us to recognize and celebrate all of us, each one of us, to coexist. To coexist by sharing our learning, our education, our faith, most of all, our love. We do have announcements today. Today, our prayer chaplain will be Sylvia, and we have a little prayer room that's through the fellowship, up the little stairs, and it's a lovely little room with a picture of Jesus on the wall. All prayers are kept confidential. We also have a prayer chest that's right here in front of you. Wilda, by the way, will be our prayer chaplain online. Whoops. Sorry. May come back to the prayer chest later, but right now I want you to be aware of it. There's a little stack of papers beside it. If you have anyone you want to hold in prayer, you just write their first name. Don't have to write any other message, and just put it into the chest. Dawn, could you just put your hand up? Dawn, right there in the second row, takes all of the prayers that are in that chest once a month. She circulates it to our prayer chaplains, and they go on to silent unity, where whoever you held in prayer is prayed with and over. We're having barbecue. We'll be outside in the parking lot, no cars there, and that will be on June 25th. And we invite everybody to attend. Bring a friend. Will be lots of fun and delicious food. The course that I began last week is continuing this Tuesday. There were 5 people who came. They all seemed to appreciate it. So if you're interested in coming for the second Tuesday, please join us in the fellowship room. It's right out here. Begins at 1:30, 1:30, I think. Now, what an honor. How delighted and thrilled I am. And he will be introduced more thoroughly by our platform assistant. But today when I walked in, who did I see back there already here at 9:30 talking to Lorraine back there at the video? But our singer, someone many of you have come out especially for, I know. He's not just a singer, he's also a reverend. He's a minister now. And you heard his music at the beginning. We welcome up here Rev Dr. Paul Luftenegger.
Okay, I think you're good to go. Go. Hi, everyone.
Do you know that the stars shine just for you? And do you know that your soul is forever? And do you know that your heart will always guide you home? Because you are a spark of all that is and all that will ever be. Because you are a part of the great mystery, like the sun, the moon, and the stars above. You are made of love. Do you know there's a secret garden inside you? And do you know that the universe will always love you? And do you know you're a piece of heaven? Because you are a spark of all that is and all that will ever be. because you are a part of the great mystery, like the sun, the moon, and the stars above. You are made of love. Because you are a spark of all that is and all that will ever be. Because you
Spence,
are a part of the great mystery, like the sun, the moon, and the stars above. You are made of love.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, and somebody's touching her eyes and weeping at the beauty of that. Thank you so much, Paul. Now our prayer chest, which I already explained to you, so I don't need to explain it again. But you're all welcome. There's a pen and paper up there to come up following service. And now let us go into prayer. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, please do so. As we breathe into this sacred moment, we breathe in the love, the sharing, the fellowship that is in this room right now. We invite those online, those who are watching later, to breathe in the love, the gratitude for all who are around you, for all that we have that is blessed in this world. We hold in prayer today Unity Center Winnipeg, Unity Christ Center of Truth in Etobicoke. We also hold in prayer all faiths, all people all over the world who are praying, affirming, loving, suffering, receiving, and giving. All those people in the world who are engaged in living today. We hold in prayer, affirming the strength and resilience of all caregivers, of all those giving care, as well as those receiving care. We hold in prayer today all fathers, all those who have helped to bring a new life into the world, as well as all those who may never give life in that way, but who nurture spiritually, who nurture with love, who nurture with caring, empathy, and compassion. We honor all those in our room who are fathers, spiritual or physical. We also hold in prayer today all those who are different in any way from the majority of people, that they may feel loved, that they may feel respected and celebrated for who they are, a divine presence in this world. I invite you to take a moment now to whisper the names of those close to your heart. For these and all of our prayers we say, Amen. It's now my pleasure to welcome up to the lectern our platform assistant for the day who will share the daily word and also introduce in a special way our special singer, musician, messenger from God, Nancy Youngson.
Blessings for fathers. I bless my father and the men who have shown me fatherly kindness. Today I bless and give heartfelt thanks to my father and the men who were fatherly figures to me. Their protecting presence, wise guidance, and caring instruction have helped me make the person I am today. I bless my father and those who shared a father's love and care with prayers of appreciation for my memories throughout all seasons of my life. Through good times and bad, I see God expressing through a father and the men who have shown me fatherly love. I bless them with prayers of gratitude, affirming they know the love and care of God as they have shown it so generously and faithfully to me and others. And from Ephesians 6, verse 4, and fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline, love, and instruction of the Lord. Well, hey, Paul. Reverend Dr. Paul Luftenegger is a singer, as we have been blessed with, a songwriter, composer, as well as an interfaith minister serving God and God's children. Reverend Paul conscious raising music is used around the world to promote global love and kindness from within the listener's heart and soul. Rev Paul is also a Louise Hay Heal Your Life teacher and workshop leader. Rev Paul's mission work and contributions can be found on his website, www.bekindness.com. With his message for Father's Day today, please join me in welcoming Dr. Paul, Reverend Luftenegger.
Okay, you can hear me. So first of all, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. It's always interesting names. I'm Paul, really, but at the same time, you know, I take this title with great responsibility to God. So that is important to me as well. So I'm many names. So I think to start with, I want to just say thank you to Pauline for just inviting me and the Unity sort of family that has sort of wrapped me in wings for a while. And Jack and Teresa were my introduction to Unity. So I just wanted to say thank you. Lorraine, thank you for helping me at the beginning of today. Technology is funny. I had a bee fly or whatever that was that flew right on my face. I don't know what it was, but that scared the crap out of me today. But I was a target and I kind of knew it was going to happen. So that's that intuition thing. And it did. And then Corey took care of it. But I don't know what to say. It did come into my personal space. So I just had to say that. So anyways, we had a little laugh. I had a little cry at the beginning. I didn't have to sing at the beginning, which was really nice to listen to that song. And I was thinking when I wrote that and shared that as God guided me, it was during a lockdown during COVID. And we've come a long way. It's sort of my point. And I thought, God, who knew? So I have been tasked with sharing a Father's Day presentation. I think it's very beautiful. I feel very honored to do that. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers here. My dad is in heaven. Always emotional, which is so healthy. but that's my dad, and he's with us as well. This sanctuary has been a healing space for me, so I feel very honored to be in it today. And this is a sanctuary because you're here and God is here. And that's what this is. This is a very holy space, this room. So I have put together, I'm going to actually take this off to do this properly, and I'm going to move a little closer to this. But I wanted to put together a presentation to share a little bit of everything. And I've been in deep reflection and contemplation for a while since you asked me, and in particular the last week. And so many things have aligned, including last Sunday, which is so ironic. My seminary had their Father's Day celebration actually last weekend because they couldn't do it today. But it was perfect because I was so inspired by them to do this, and it was so divinely guided. So happy Father's Day. And really what I wanted to do today is I wanted to talk about celebrating the divine sacred masculine. I'm just going to move this out of the way. I put this a little bit too close. So what I want to do is I want to sort of take us through a little bit of what came to my heart. And the miracle of you is really my starting point. And when I was healing from my father's suicide, I went through a space for me that God showed me the way. And I was in front of the mirror getting ready today, remembering the miracle of me in that moment, the day he died. The same bathroom. And in my healing, the miracle of me started to show up. And I wanted to put a presentation here that honors the miracle in all of you, and that there's a divine moment and the creation and incarnation moment of you. The divine feminine and the divine masculine come together with God, source creator, and we are all made of both male and female energy and life. And I think the thing that I thought was so beautiful last weekend is my dear sweet sister and friend, Rev Dr. Stacy Lee, inspired me to say that, you know, how do we look at God? This is a very important question. How do we see God? And for me, I see God very different than many people I know. But I think a lot of people in this room see God like I see God, and that God is both and all that is. Both of these divine feminine and divine masculine energies are in all of us in some capacity. And it is proven because that has to come together to make you. This is a proof to me. So I wanted to put this presentation moment, and this is a video that's going to play here, and I want you to think about what had to happen for the miracle of you. But this is what had to happen. This light met this light, and a spark of creation happened, and that is you. So the questions, again, points of contemplation. I love contemplation. It's my favorite thing about seminary. I loved it. I miss it, actually. And I was ordained a year ago this month. So it's a very special time for me. But what is the divine sacred masculine to you? And I want you to think about that for just a moment. What is it? What does it mean to be divinely masculine, sacred? You know, what do we see that as? Or how do we refer to God in that way as well? And the questions and points of contemplation, again, to add to this is, how do you personally honor the divine sacred masculine? How do you? First, how do you honor the divine sacred masculine within yourself? I think is a great starting point. And second is, how do you honor the divine sacred masculine in others? So I loved this these slides. I thank my seminary and the interfaith ministry that I attended, because that's where these are from. But I believe that the masculine, the sacred masculine archetype has indeed made its presence known, and that the more we draw it into consciousness, the more those qualities will become the norm. And I just love this. I actually chose this image with this video because I think, you know, we as fathers, you know, there's all different kinds of fathers. You know, we've all had many fathers in our life. It's not just one. We've had many fathers. And of course, our father is a part of that, but there's so many more. And I between these slides, I've put some pictures that I just grabbed from Canva. I thank Canva. But I think that this is beautiful because this is, you know, this is definitely a father with his children. And the first known Father's Day service occurred in Fairmont, West Virginia, USA on July the 5th in 1908. It was after hundreds of men died in one of the worst mining accidents in US history. A woman named Grace Golden Clayton, who was the daughter of a dedicated minister, proposed a service to honor all fathers, especially those who had died. I thought this was interesting that we in Canada sort of are a result of this moment. And I thought these were just sweet. So Father's Day did not become a national American holiday until 1972, which Canada followed. From my understanding, if I'm wrong, please know that I apologize, but I believe that this is the history I found. And why did Father's Day take so long to pass into US law? What's interesting is that Mother's Day was so quickly embraced. So why was Father's Day so controversial? This is something that I thought quite fascinating. And unlike the USA, Canada never passed Father's Day into law. I thought that was sort of interesting. With Canada and America's deep-rooted history, you might think that a holiday recognizing men would be perfectly acceptable. After all, men dominated Canadian and American society in the early 20th century. In addition, a Father's Day, or a day that recognizes the role of fathers in the family, is an ancient tradition. Some history books mention Southern European traditions of fathers being honored dating back to 1508. In our more modern days, we do not give Father's Day a second thought. One thing to note, it's been 50 years since President Richard Nixon declared the third Sunday in June, which is today, a day to recognize and honor the role of fathers in society, and what a beautiful thing it is to do. The father, the divine sacred masculine, the protector, definitely the protector. I just thought this was sweet. So digging in more, I learned that Father's Day is held on various dates across the world, and in different religions maintain their own traditions of honoring fatherhood. In some Catholic countries in Europe, Father's Day has been celebrated on March the 19th, which is St. Joseph's Day since the Middle Ages. Sikhs celebrate Father's Day on December the 29th, which is the birthday of Guru Gobind Singh. In some Islamic countries, Father's Day is set following the months of the Islamic calendar. In Lithuania and some parts of Spain and Italy, Father's Day is recognized as a public holiday. And in Estonia and Samoa, it is a national holiday in South Korea. Father's Day is celebrated as Parents' Day, which I thought was interesting. I just thought that that was sweet. All different kinds of fathers, right? There we go. And even early history, even earlier history, but honoring the father. For centuries, the Eastern Orthodox Church appointed the second Sunday before Nativity as the Sunday of the forefathers to commemorate the ancestors of Christ according to the flesh, starting with Adam and emphasizing the patriarch Abraham, to whom God said, "In thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed." More sweet pictures. So Father's Day controversy. So surprisingly, Father's Day was not immediately accepted when it was proposed, and why not? Mother's Day came first, which was officially recognized in 1914. Men in the early 1900s associated such a tribute to women and found the idea too effeminate to their liking. To be fair, Mother's Day was coached in terms of femininity. In 1914, President Woodrow Wilson called Mother's Day a way to recognize the tender, gentle army, the mothers of America. And I thank all of them, you know, obviously, but we have come a long way too. Fast forwarding to today, we have come a long way in our society, accepting that a father's role is much more broad and much more equally important. And for the record, we must also recognize that some women have to be fathers to fatherless children, and some men have to be mothers to motherless children. We all have divine sacred masculine within us, and we all have divine sacred feminine within us. With the spirit of oneness, we all recognize that each being is capable of nurturing all the components required to thrive. Both fathers and mothers of the past are incredible teachers for the future of our sacred world and the beauty of what it truly means to be a human being. So a soul, to me, is a piece of God. This is the most simple thing that I know we seem to find really complicated. but this is what I know to be true. Source creator incarnated into a beautiful sacred DNA body temple, which is you, in my opinion. That is how I feel that we are all pieces of the beloved. A child of God, a piece of all that is, made in the image of God, and God dwells within you as you. And when we accept everyone in that, we are in a state of pure peace. So this for me is a big part of the truth, the light, and the way, of which I feel very much as a minister to say out loud and to stand in firm presence with God in saying that in this sanctuary with all of you. So these are some beautiful slides with some points that I think are so powerful from last Sunday's service that I attended. And the conscious masculine has no shame for the love in his heart, for he knows to feel is sacred. And to feel is so sacred. You know, our emotional wells that we feel and experience is a part of life, the ebbs and the flows. You know, if you live a long life, you're going to experience many emotions, many sad times, many happy times. And this is part of what it means to be a human being. And these, again, sweet pictures to fill in the gaps. I thought this was sweet. The strong man is not the one who can overpower others. Rather, the strong man is the one who controls himself when he is angry. The divine masculine and divine feminine are far beyond our mistaken ideas of gender labels. Instead, it is a pathway to eternal bliss when harnessed in balance and harmony. We as humans are capable of channelizing the power of these sacred energies and create a place that defines humanity in its true spirit. And I loved this. As someone that I'm married to someone who is beautifully Black. And I think being in Bermuda to witness different fathers, different roles has enriched my life. Spiritual maturity is about nurturing, honoring, and balancing both sides of your nature. And all men, women, and non-binary people trans possess both the masculine and feminine aspects inside. Ignoring, suppressing, demonizing, or treating one type of energy as less than another is immature and ultimately creates suffering. Don't give fuel to your shadow self. Don't perpetuate more division within this world. Learn how to awaken both types of energy within yourself in a healthy way. And I came across this, you know, there's a lot of controversy right now about trans. I don't know, I'm sure you've seen some things going on in the world. And I have to say, it is a personal space for you to contemplate. But I think dividing, and I liked this because dividing anyone further only creates more problems for all of us. So rather than trying to understand, sometimes it's best to just contemplate that all is well. This is how I feel. I thought this was a sweet picture too, a father and son. So an awakened man is a warrior of the heart. He calls to other conscious men to join the revolution, to lay down their ego, and with true masculine energy, demonstrate what it means to return to love. This was so sweet. So he who has no faith in himself can never have faith in God. And I think this is very true. And the reality is we all get scared in this life. We have times where we do get scared. You know, I know it well. I get scared sometimes before I go and sing. I get scared before I do many things, but I know for sure is that courage comes in little bits, and you create more courage from facing your fears. And when you do this, you start to understand your true self, your highest self. And this is where I think that we're at in this evolutionary leap, is where we become our true and highest self and manifest. And what happens is that everything changes. Everything changes when we do that. So I decided to share something personal, you know, in this way with my father. So I can't have him in the room physically, but I can certainly tell you he's in my heart, he's in my DNA, he's in my happiness. But my mother and I with Corey, we're sort of a team after my father died on March the 6th. He died on a Sunday. It's a Sunday today. I thought that was interesting. And, you know, my father was born on April the 30th, 1954, and died on March the 6th of 2011. We decided in this granite to put some really important information that we felt represented, I think, who we were at the time, and also honored my father in all life. So we decided, my mother decided to choose this verse actually at the bottom, but it's "Rise, O children, from your sleep. Your Savior now has come. He has turned your sorrow to joy and filled your soul with song." Just took me a minute to say that out loud. And I really love this because, you know, when we feel free, we sing, we share, we communicate, we express. And I love this quote at the bottom, and it's in the base of the granite, and is "In every seed lies the promise of a forest." This is such an important thing to remember. You have a forest in you. What are you going to do with it? It's a question I have. I use my forest to do this. I was called by God on March the 6th of 2011 in front of the mirror that I got ready in today. I had a vision with God that the inside of me was very important and that God dwelled within me that day. My forest has grown all around the world. This is such an important part of who we are and who we can become. Who are we becoming is a question, right? And I think that COVID divided many people. It's time to come together, and we will celebrate in sanctuary, and that's what we're doing. So I celebrate my father. Okay. I knew that would be a little emotional. It wasn't so bad. I didn't bawl. This is my father. This is my mother, Jane, my father, Fred. My dad's name was Frederick, and sometimes Freddie. He was many people, but he was an amazing man. I would not be me without him. This is me in the middle there. This is my dad. This was sort of just the way that we grew up, you know? This is Corey, my mom, and my dad in Bermuda. I think I was snapping this picture of all of you thinking, wow. But it was beautiful. We live actually not too far away from where this was taken. And this was just our family. This is before I met Corey. This was up in Manitoulin Island to the, Larry and Kathy in Manitoulin Island right now. This is interesting that this is where this picture was, but it was right after I graduated college when I was a massage therapist a long time ago. That's us. This is my dad. One of my favorite things that my dad did, which I never knew would be so important, but he took videos before people took videos. And we have a lot of videos because of him wanting to do this. And this is in Florida, but I'm so grateful for those family things. So never be shy in taking your videos because your kids will thank you. And I think it's also important. I wanted to sort of say that, you know, being gay has been a big challenge. It's even more challenging sometimes being a minister. For me, a lot of people kind of maybe look at me with like weird eyes, maybe sometimes, but here is the deal. I'm a child of God. I'm a minister for God, and I will stand up for God anytime in any room. And I'm okay with that. I'm well with that. I also want to say that, you know, gay men have oftentimes nurtured children unlike, it's no different to me than a straight man because God dwells in all of us. So Corey has honored this beautiful little girl who was a big part of our life. And I love seeing moments where you love a child from anyone that loves a child appropriately. This is me with the same little girl. And I just think that this is so beautiful. This is me singing in a classroom of little children. And what's so beautiful, they all knew the words to my song and they sang my heart. I bawled my eyes out while they sang it. But it was the most beautiful moment. This is in Ottawa here in Canada. I was invited and I surprised these children. They use my class. So interesting. You have to get around sometimes God in classrooms, but they use it as, what is it called? Silent time. And they use my songs for that. So this is that moment. And then I've also done mission work. And I took pictures of everyone that I helped fit with hearing aids. But this is what's possible when, you love. And I will always remember the children's faces and we did about 50 people a day. I would fit about 50 people with hearing aids every day. And these were some of the faces that just really, it was just a magical moment. But I loved the kids in them because they were just beaming when you turn on the sound the first time they hear noise. It's amazing. And so I just want to sort of go back to this image for just a moment, and it's just to remember again this moment. We are created in the image of the beloved. This happens, and the question is, what can you do with it? This is a very big deal. So on this Father's Day, I wanted to sort of put that together. I believe that that's where my slides, yeah. So I'm going to just pause there. I do want to sort of sum this up. And I'm going to use some words from Rev Dr. Stacy Lee. This is just a great point of things to remember. So it is time for the system of true equality between men and women. We do not have to let the pendulum swing from patriarch to matriarch. We can and we must stop the swing and find the middle, finding the sweet spot. So you know how we have had so much masculine, that masculine has been so predominant. And of course, we've had women's liberation come in and swing the pendulum the other way, which is perfect. Now, the way I see this is that we need to sort of get to this middle where we're both important, we're both honored, and that's kind of what my point is in that pendulum. We need to each share the sacred communion in balance and inequality. So many of our faith traditions have taught us that it is important and it is sacred to sort of realize that we're both in the image of God. All is important, that we all matter, and that we ultimately are one, right? This is the message that you were sharing earlier with unity. We are one. Jesus treated all the same equally. Jesus talked to women no different than he talked to men. The book of Galatians in the Bible offers this verse: there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male or female, for you are all one in Jesus Christ. Abdul Baha'i, son of the founder of the Baha'i faith, said this: the world of humanity has two wings. One is women and the other is men. And not until both wings are equally developed can the bird fly. Should one wing remain weak, flight is impossible. The cornerstone of Sikhism is the belief that all humans are one and equal worth, and the Waheguru is present in every person, male or female, as the Atma, or the divine spark. Now, I didn't know this sort of phrase before I wrote and channeled that song with God about the spark of all that is, but I knew to do it because it's remembering what we are. We're the spark of God. And I sang about that today for that reason. The Guru Gatsyet states that there is only one breath. All are made of the same clay. The light within all is the same. The one light pervades all the many and the various speeds. The Buddhist core teaching is about a middle way, about all extremes that do not offer a true path toward enlightenment. The path to enlightenment, he said, is the middle way. Archaeologists are now rediscovering the matriarchal system that may have existed millennia ago, meaning that the pendulum has already swung from one extreme to the other of male versus female. So this is, again, that middle ground that the Buddha, I believe, talked about. So this is the time, these are the conditions today in 2023 when we finally find the middle way. You see, we need to stop pitting ourselves against each other. Life is, in fact, not a competition. Where in the world did this come from? survival of the fittest needs to change into winning with one another. Where we support one another, it is time to work together to build each other up and to see the value of each of us equally. Instead of tearing each other down to climb over the dead bodies that we leave in our path, ultimately that we get to thrive together as we are together and be together. We get to come together and value each other and become whole and one. And this wholeness is really the theme that I really feel, the Spheres of Love album, the last album that I did, as guided by God, because I did not want to do that at that particular time. I did not understand, but I listened to God, and it was all about becoming the sphere, which is the soul being round, no end, no beginning. And becoming whole means that you have to really question and contemplate what is God to you. And how do you become whole with God? Is you become some aspect of God yourself in your own, the hands of God literally are you. You're it. We're it together. So just ending this on this Father's Day, I just wanted to sort of bring us all together in wholeness and the idea of that wholeness and really hold space for the divine masculine today, of course, and happy Father's Day to that. But also say happy Father's Day to the mothers that have been fathers as well, because we've had so many different versions of people showing us what God is to me. And I think just, leaving this sort of particular moment with that sort of to contemplate, I think is really my intention today with God. So that is this part of this. And then I believe now, what am I supposed to do? Meditation. Okay. I'm trying to follow the rules here. Okay. So I guess now it's meditation time. So I'm going to bring a chair. I was told I can sit, and I'm going to. I think it's much more enjoyable. I also feel like I can get centered this way. So get comfortable. I might just actually have a drink of water. Just bear with me for a moment. Okay. I'll just share with you too, this outfit I bought in India after meeting the Dalai Lama. So I wore this today because I felt like it's a special day. Okay, so get comfortable. And let's just begin with a beautiful cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just getting centered in your beautiful heart, and in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just a nice cleansing breath again, a little deeper in through the nose and out through the mouth. And what I'd like you to do is just take a breath into the heart now, into the heart with God, and out. And in through the heart again with God, and out. And what I'd like you to do, just keep breathing naturally. I'd like you to sort of enter into the heart space now with an understanding that your heart is the core and the light. So I'd like you to just look at your heart with your mind's eye and take a breath with the light now into your heart. And just feel its beauty emanating, shining within the core of your beauty. And in this space, I'd like you to just see your heart sort of lighting up a little bit lighter with whatever color you feel guided or whatever color you feel is right for you. And just feel the light of your heart expanding outwardly in that round aura from your heart and your soul coming together. And just breathe into that for a moment. And as you sort of see this light reaching and stretching and becoming a little brighter, I'd like you to just let that light grow in its perfect circle from within the center of you outwardly to your whole body. So that would include, from the inside core of you, all around you, all of your cells being now bathed in the light and the love that is within you. And just feel your light and your aura sort of coming together and reaching and stretching out in the round orb that is around your whole body now. And what I'd like you to do is just allow that light now from the heart just to expand out just a little bit past your skin, actually. So just a little outside into, the outside close area to your body temple. And just feel your heart sort of just beaming with your soul beaming outwardly to your whole aura. And just breathe into that for a moment. And then what I'd like you to do is just beam that light now into the whole room, which means that you will be filling the room now with your beautiful heart light and soul light from within you. And then what I'd like you to do is just reach and stretch that light now into the city that you're in. And it's even easier now to just reach and stretch that light now into the country you're in. So for us in Canada, we're just reaching that beautiful light out to Canada. Now we're going to include sort of the US in that light. And then effortlessly, we're going to now wrap our whole light, expanding out from the inside of us all around the world. That round orb that we all share. And our light and our love now reaching out just past the earth to the stars, the sun, the moon, our solar system. Just keep breathing into that. And let's just hold that for a moment. And just feel the love emanating out to the whole world and the whole beautiful star area that's around our planet. And then what we can do is effortlessly now just bring that light back into our heart now. We've reached and stretched out. Now we're just going to bring that light back into our heart. And just take a deep breath in with your love and your light now just in your heart. And just feel the grounding energy of yourself. Just wiggle your feet a little bit now. Just coming back into your body permanently again. And just take a breath. And when you're ready to open your eyes, just open your eyes. Beautiful. So I love simple meditations like that, just to reach and stretch your light and your love. I think they're so easy and so effortless just to get us into that beauty. Okay, so now is it time to sing or no? Yeah? Okay. All right. So and then I'm done. Okay. I'm done for a moment anyways. So I'm just going to grab this. So we have this song. Before I sing this, I just want to sort of, I chose this song. I have many to choose from now, but I chose this song because I love the meaning that, who's listening to us? This question is very profound to me to contemplate. Who's listening? And I know that in the bathroom today, there's this beautiful, I wrote it down so I get it exactly right, but there's this phrase in front of the toilet, which I love, where it is, the angels remind you that you are enough. This is so powerful. And, you know, the angels are listening to us. God is listening to us. And I chose this song because I want to sort of, if you would be willing to close your eyes and really go back into that heart space, that soul space within you as we share this song, I think it would be very powerful. And just whatever you're feeling, whatever you're experiencing, just know that the angels and the universe and God are listening. So that's the focus. So please go ahead. And just take a deep breath in.
God is listening to you. The angels are listening to you too. I am listening to you. The universe is listening to you. To listen is to love. To listen is to care. To listen is to share. You know life really loves you. So open up your heart and share the vibration of you. Ask for help and ask for support. And ask for grace, and be sure to ask for strength. You don't have to do this all alone anymore. You don't have to be afraid. You see, the Lord is with you, beaming through your heart. So open up your heart and ask for what you need. Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, Sandolph and Metatron are with you. Mother Mary, Saint Bernadette, and Christ's holy love lives inside your sacred heart. Oh, Holy Mother, Holy Father, creation dwells within.
Let's take a deep breath. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you.
I don't usually use the word anticlimactic at Unity, but that was so beautiful. I just wanted to keep staying in that space. Paul, I'll just use your first name, but giving full credence to the fact that you are now an interfaith minister. In terms of thanking you, I believe that all of us who were fortunate enough to be here today will be thanking you in our hearts for days and weeks ahead, because you left a lasting message. And what I took away today was that wonderful message that we each have within us, masculine and feminine divinity. And also that crossing all generations, we really are unified. Your message was one of love, one of deep faith. And I love the pictures too. And I thank you so much for coming on Father's Day and sharing with us and bringing Corey and Jane. And if anyone wants to share their own way of how Rev Dr. Paul affected them, we do have time at the end of our service. So you don't have to run into the fellowship right away. You have a chance to come up here, take the microphone, and just share if you want to. Or share with him personally, I'm sure. We have an opportunity to present a tithe. And we know that those of our Unity members who come here regularly and offer their talent and their service on a regular basis do that. If you wish to give a tithe, we're always grateful. It helps to support our building. And as our collectors, our Vice President, Renee Sawa, and Kate Shiel, our treasurer, are collecting. Once they've completed their collection, we always do a blessing at the conclusion. So I'll just wait for them to come back to the front. And it's a blessing not just for what's in the little purple bags. It's a blessing for everything we receive from each other, from those in our communities. So I invite you to join with me in the blessing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And this is a prayer that we say every Sunday. I know I find myself saying it often throughout the week, or even if you know somebody who really needs an uplift. So I invite you to join with me. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God, and yay, you. And now we have a tradition here at Unity where we sing the peace song and we all join hands. If that feels comfortable for you, please do it. And if not, we appreciate it. Thanks so much to everyone for joining in this song. And before we start doing fellowship in here, just before we begin, it's always hard to bring people back because they're so engaged in all that love and the sharing. But you do have an opportunity now, and you'll see by the message up there. This is sharing time for those online. And if you're hesitant to come up and use the microphone, it's but you see, the only thing is they can't see you. You can see them if you come up here better. If you come up here and you hold the microphone and you say, "Hi, Larry. Hi, Catherine," then they can see you doing that. So if anybody would like to come up and share, or if anybody online would like to share. Catherine wants to. Yay, Catherine.
Oh, I would certainly love to share my darling Paul Luftenegger. Oh my gosh, I would have given anything to be there in person today, but here I am in full spirit and love. And thank you to Jane for giving us this beautiful human being. It's just such a joy to look around that room in the big circle and to see all those people, Tom and Joanne and Jack and Teresa. And I don't want to name too many, but you know, the people that I just love so much, and to just feel them embraced with Paul's message today of oneness. We are all one. And to, you know, let's shine our lights and bring an end to separateness and just shine so bright that everybody wants what we have. I want what you have, Paul Luftenegger. I love you. Thank you for blessing us with this message. And, you know, regardless of who your father was, you know, my father has taken decades of forgiveness, but today I can truly say I thank you for helping me to be who I am today. So I'm just going to pass it on to Larry because I know he wants to say something too. So much love to everybody.
Yeah, Paul, thanks for a wonderful message. Everything you say really resonates with us. And thanks for the little plug on Manitoulin Island. That's always appreciated. Yeah.
And come on up.
Miss you guys. Yeah, come on up for a visit. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks so much to Catherine and Larry. You're far away in miles, but very close to our hearts. Anybody here want to share a message for Paul? Jack's coming up. Oh, yay, Jack. Jack doesn't usually do this.
Okay, I appreciate Paul's message today so much, that we all can learn from, and how we can feel and be in touch with the higher source. I think of how my father was, and I know Tom is here, and there's so many people that can relate to it. My dad would never have approved of me coming to Canada, but I'm here anyways because I had it in my mind that I wanted to go when I was 12, 14 years old. And when I was 19 years old, I says, I'm going. He says, well, I'm not going to pay nothing. And young kids never had no money. So, but I says, I'm going anyways, one way or the other. And I found a young farmers organization, but loaned me the money. And I came to Canada, and I traveled around and ended up in London, Ontario. We leased an orchard in One-Cliff and Southdale for 10 years. And when we grew the apples, we sold apples to Fred, to your dad. And it's just so interesting how it comes together. Then Paul came around. He started working for us in the market. And we shared some real quality time. And I appreciate all the time we've had and that we still have. We were at the funeral of your dad, and we really got to know how he was. Well, we delivered apples to him at different stores where he worked at. And when we worked together with you, Paul. Thank you for the message. And I appreciate that my son and his wife and daughter are here and can share this all with us and get to this higher feeling right from the heart. And that's what you taught us. Thank you.
Reverend Paul. Thank you so much. I really appreciated what you spoke about, that we have both the male and the female in us. And when you spoke about mothers that have to become both because the father is missing. I was a young widow with 2 little kids, and it wasn't easy to teach my son how to fish. But it was so beautiful to think about it that way. Thank you so much.
And we thank everyone for coming. We thank Lorraine at the back. And she's not at the front, but she really is doing mammoth work back there. I just love it when she's back there in the booth. So big clap for Lorraine Ryden. And beside her back there is steadfast, solid Ed. He's so quiet, but he does a good job back there in sound. Thank you, Ed.